All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Dr. Sean, the physical therapy application coach, with my man here, Josh. How we doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, Sean. How about you?
Good, man. Good. It is like mildly chilly in Arizona right now. It's like 50, 60 degrees, which is freezing for us, right? So, but the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to be on the call with you.
Yeah, same here in Seattle. I mean, it's anything that goes below 50, everyone's freezing already.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. It's nice to see you again after how many months. Haven't
Yeah.
seen in September since did our last application or my last application for them.
Yeah, that's true. And then it's just kind of been emails since then.
Yeah.
But for everybody else who hasn't been along with you for the ride like I have,
Mhm.
tell people a little bit about yourself, like where are you
Yeah.
from, a little bit about your background, and then we'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So I'm originally from the Philippines. I moved to the United States when I was 3 years old. Um, Lived in New Jersey, Jersey City for a long time in subsidized housing. And then from there, I moved back to the Philippines for high school. Um, Spent 4 years there in a pretty rural province of Mindanao, which is in the southern part of the Philippines. From there is kind of when I really saw what poverty was and like the lack of healthcare in that community and area. So then when I came back to the States, um, for college is when it kind of got propelled into like more of like a healthcare type of role, but I didn't really know what I wanted until I kind of figured I found out what physical therapy was from sustaining like an injury myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So thanks for giving us the lowdown on that. And obviously
Yeah.
you come from a unique perspective and background, right? Like we have a lot of applicants who are like they're from the States,
Yeah.
all they know is America, right? And you have like this
Yeah.
very cross-cultural background, which is awesome and was something that we really tried to help you sell as an
Yeah.
asset coming into a program, right? So
Yes.
um, tell us a little bit about your journey with applying to PT school after you committed
Yeah.
to choosing this profession.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be honest, like the first 2 years, it was rough. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Especially here, like after undergrad, it's like you get your degree in like kines, and then like your faculty doesn't care like really anymore about you, So it's just like it's how you are able to really like find out the resources and information that you have to like do for yourself and figure out like what works best for you. And I really, really, really would encourage everyone to really try to find a mentor like or a coach like exactly like you, because if I found out like if I had a mentor like my first year of basically finishing college and then applying to PT programs, it would have helped me a lot in not only my essays, but like what to do for, do I retake some prerequisites? What type of volunteering do I do? What type of observations should I do? Internships should I take? Um, and that really all helped me afterwards. Was I made sure that I made like a theme for my application, that I was someone um, that like really invested into like giving back to diverse marginalized communities, because
Yeah.
I wanted that as an applicant I stood out as someone that really promotes that's what we as healthcare professionals want to do, and it's something what I want to do when I become a physical therapist. And I want to come back into those communities. So I made sure that I did as much volunteering as I can, and I also found like made sure that I had a mentor, like a coach like you, which really helped me in really creating my application to something that was from really like trash into something that's like actually like pretty strong application. Because uh, I didn't get a single interview in the last 2 years, but this year for this cycle, because I also didn't take it seriously in my first year. I thought that I was a really weak applicant and didn't really try, didn't really volunteer. And now it's just like, I know what I'm doing now. And, I've gotten 4 acceptances so far. I haven't had a rejection yet. Fingers crossed.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And, I really like the program that I'm committing to right now.
That's exciting, man. Well, we won't keep people in suspense. So where did you get in and where are you choosing to go?
Yeah, so I got into University of Pittsburgh. So I'm committing
Nice.
to them. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a school or two in California.
Yeah.
Because I do have some relatives in California, and I just like California in general. But I think it's still a really great program, and I want to be able to commit to UPitt regardless. So I'll make a decision if hopefully I get good news. But yeah, this is where I'm currently going for now.
That's exciting, man. That's super exciting. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And what a difference, right? Like, I think what you said that's so important is you were doing a lot of stuff
Mhm.
beforehand, right? It
Yeah.
just wasn't packaged in a way that you sold it as well in your application, right?
Right. Yeah.
And like having this unique selling pitch that you can give as like, this is why you want me to come to your program.
Exactly.
And I think that you hit the nail on the head with that is if you have a coach, if you have a mentor, a guide, somebody to help you, right?
Yeah.
They can help you draw out what is unique and special about you as an applicant. And you can
Yes.
infuse that into your essays, into your interviews, into all that stuff. And that's
Right.
all the coaching is. It's not like, it's nothing super fancy. It's
No.
just identifying what is awesome and unique and special about you and putting it in a package.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's hard to talk about yourself, and you just want to feel as if like you use all these like verbs and adjectives about yourself, and it's not really like something that's like tangible. Like like what does that mean? That you're um motivated, like you're empathetic, you're understanding.
Right.
Like we all want to be those things, but it's like a coach or a mentor like you like allowed me to really show more than like say what I really have done and what I do and continue to do. So it kind of helps like rearrange your whole application to like really show front like your unique skills and special abilities, because like everyone can just have like the most generic application, but like no one really understands like, okay, so you're understanding, oh, you're intelligent. But it's like, yeah, I had to really really figure out that, okay, I actually have to say and bring out stories and things that like I've actually done to put in this application so that they actually get an idea of who I am.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think something I've learned over the years is that when you're trying to, like, applications in general,
Mhm.
people go in looking at them and they're naturally just kind of skeptical, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, everyone's going to put themselves in their best light and like say all these, like you said, like use all these fancy words and try to make themselves sound like they're awesome.
Right.
But how can you get someone to actually believe that before they
Yeah.
even meet you, type of a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the trick. And no one really teaches you how to do that when you're in school. Like you can take a creative writing class or persuasive writing class, and that's geared towards a completely different outcome.
Mhm.
But being able to persuade someone about who you are as a person,
Yes.
and how this process, like we walked you through how to do that with essays, and then we wrapped it into this is how we do it in interviews, and just kind of build
Right.
off of that. And we're not reinventing the wheel; we're just changing it from written to spoken, and and that's it, man. That's the process. So I think you exemplify that even if you're an applicant who got off to a rough start and you feel like you didn't know what you were doing, right? Even if you had to retake classes and you had to go
Yeah.
back and get
Yeah.
observation out, like all that stuff, right?
Right.
Like there is still hope, there is still opportunity if you can
Yeah.
get yourself aligned with a mentor who's going to help you
Yeah.
show you how you shine.
Yep.
So that's perfect, man.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Um, so what did it feel like after all the effort and the energy that you put in over the past few years to get these acceptance offers, and not just one, like multiple
Yeah.
acceptance offers?
But first, I'm just like, is it the right Joshua Perez that's like they're sending this? Because like, yeah, it's like a week after I got acceptance, and next 2 weeks after I got acceptance, I'm like, I don't have a rejection yet. I'm just like, I really hope this is like of the correct
This
person.
is
I hope
real.
pass. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, it was such a great feeling, like knowing that this is accumulation of basically like 4 years of undergrad, and then 2 years of really just really living like on the edge of like poverty of just either being a PT tech, PT aide, and knowing that you are actually going to become a DPT. Now like once you go to school, it was definitely overwhelming at first, because it's just like I don't really believe I don't really see that I'm going to PT school until I'm actually like setting my foot through the door and until they say like, this is your cohort, you know? So I'm still getting a little bit of like, kind of a little bit of imposter syndrome, but nothing like too crazy where it's just like, I'd have to just tell myself that this is why they accepted me, because they saw the value that I can bring to the cohort and to the organization, the program,
Sure.
the PT that I'll become. So yeah, I have to just like tell myself that. But it was definitely like a whole bunch of stress just, you know, out the window, because it's like I don't have to take another class anymore. I don't have to take another you know, do another observation hour at this one clinic that, you know, I'm working in. So yeah, now it's just like trying to kind of get back into the groove now, especially before going to PT school, since, you know, I've kind of been out of school. Especially grad school is going to be different, you know, different beast. So yeah,
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I think there's so much um anxiety that just falls
yeah,
off your shoulders. Like it's a different type of anxiety. It's different
yeah,
because now it's like we're not done yet, right?
yeah,
And then I'll tell you this: after you get out of school and then you start working, then there's new anxiety, right?
yeah.
Because now it's like now I actually have to like help people, you know. So that never goes away; it just transforms. But it's so exciting to
Yeah,
like move on to the next stage and to be like the fruits of my labors
exactly.
are coming to fruition now. So
Right.
um, congrats, man, and that's it's just
Appreciate
so exciting for you.
it. It is.
Um, what piece of advice would you give to people? You kind of already mentioned it. Get a coach, right? But any other pieces of advice you would give to pre PTs that are coming up? Maybe they're people. Maybe there's applicants like
Yeah.
you, maybe that came from like a lower socioeconomic status that started
Yeah.
out with, you know, as an international student, like different things
Yeah.
like that. What would you have to say to those applicants?
Yeah, I would say, actually, I'll probably give like two or three because it really helped me. I mean, the first one is like just the commitment to, I guess, like diversity or inclusion with like marginalized, impoverished communities. Because regardless, at the end of the day, like the community that need it the most are the communities that can't like really afford PT. So like if you are able to really show in your application that you have worked with these like like diverse communities just throughout the spectrum, not just geriatric, not just, you know, predominantly like rich suburban neighborhoods, not just an outpatient clinic, just making sure that like you're really putting yourself into like really marginalized, impoverished communities, not only at like a PT clinic, but it can be like in a hospital, it can be at an outpatient clinic, just so that the program knows that you're able to relate and interact with those communities is just going to be a step up for you, because they know that you can have good patient care or just even interact with your cohort that are from those communities as well, because there's going to be people from their cohort that come from these communities as well. I think that's going to be one of the biggest ones, and then you should definitely say that in your interview or your application that you've worked with these communities, because it's going to be very important for as a physical therapist. And I guess the next one would be like when you're making your application, like you really should just say everything that you, not everything, but like the things that really do make you unique. Like even there was this one, there's a few applications where it's just like say one unique skill about you that that isn't like that you makes you stand out or is unique. And I mean, I even said that I was like, you know, I'm humorous or I'm funny, you know, and it's just like I know it's like weird to say, but it's just like I'm able to relate with patients with that because I find like humor in things, and then we're able to relate to different things just like with humor. And you're able to be cordial and you're able to like relate to patients that way because of the fact that they can trust you, and just make sure that like you really explain why that like skill or trait makes you unique. So like if you really think you're funny, if you think you're empathetic or understand, just make sure you go off of that. But it just a skill that really or trait that really makes you unique is really important to do. Like you really have to say everything that you want to say about yourself, because that's you, and you have to make sure that your cohort will get along with you.
Okay, that's perfect, man. Yeah, like if there's something that you want on your application, you got to put it on there and
Exactly.
explain it. So, okay,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Well, I know there's going to be applicants that can benefit from that advice of really working to not don't just take the easy route with your observation hours. Try to get some unique settings, some with some
Yes.
marginalized populations, so that you can first and foremost, be able to help those people, but also to
Yeah.
show that you've done the work to go out and to see the need for the profession.
Yes.
And then I think, being able to go and include as much as humanly possible on your application
Yes.
about anything that you want to share. It needs to be on there. Otherwise, it's obviously not going to be on your application. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Josh. Appreciate you.
And honestly, I think honestly, I like just one more thing too with the GRE, because the GRE I think gives a lot of people anxiety right coming out of undergrad. And um, I honestly would think that if you know that you want to put more time into your application because you're so lacking on specific areas of your application. I personally didn't take the GRE, even because I was going to take it in my first year or my second year, but then COVID happened. They kept pushing back the test dates months and months and months. I was so ready to take it. And then now it's just like, I just wanted to be able to apply to schools that didn't have the GRE. So just make sure that if you're going to take the GRE, you focus on that first, but it's not, it's not a something in which like, if you don't take it, there's no way to get into PT school, because there's a lot of PT schools that are actually going away from the GRE, and you can apply to those. And not necessarily, you don't have to have a super high GPA. I'll be honest, I didn't have really high of a GPA. I mean, I'm at a little bit above the minimums, but it's you as your in your application that is what's going to define you and what the program will look for you. And if there's really interesting things and in your application, they really will consider that over your GPA for some programs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that just goes back to the point of really do your homework about the
Yeah.
programs you're applying to and know where to apply. And I think if you do those things, right, like whether it's you don't want to take the GRE, finding programs that fit your application profile, that's huge. And we always harped on that as like, it's not about applying to a bunch of schools. It's about applying to a bunch of schools that are a good fit for you.
Exactly.
And then you find which program is the best fit, and
Yeah.
that's where you go. And I think you've definitely had a smashing success because, like you said, on paper, some of the stats aren't the best, right?
Right.
But you got 4 acceptance offers. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So that just goes to show you that if you put in the work, you find the schools, you do
Mhm.
your research,
Yes.
and you tailor everything to
Yeah.
that program, you're going to have a much greater likelihood of success versus people who just kind of shotgun approach apply to
Right.
schools. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Josh, best of luck with everything in the future, man. If you have any issues, and like you mentioned, transitioning into PT school can be a bit of a jump, right? But you're going to figure it out. There's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, but that's okay. That's a part of the process. And I'm so excited to see what the future holds in store for you, man. Keep in touch.
Yeah. Yeah. One more thing, don't quit. Just don't quit. I know, like, if you don't get in your first, second year, just don't quit, please. You will get in. I promise. I promise. If you keep working your application, you'll get in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate all your help.